Hey gang, Brian Davis here, alive, gratituderep.com. I appreciate you all being here. Just got done my email, wrote it. Yeah, I'm excited today. Yesterday was a good day. Yesterday, I definitely fatigued myself. I pushed very hard. My son and I helped my wife clean the house, and it was pretty rewarding. You know, trying to lead by example for him, explaining that he's got to help pick up the slack around the house. He's 13, and we're definitely in a struggle, and he needs to help out. I wanted to share a story with you today that kind of explains how I get so focused and driven. And when I was probably 7, 8 years old, my mom was working 3 jobs. I'm just cut right to it. She's working 3 jobs to keep a house, 2 kids, a house, car that was on one long, and 3 jobs to keep everything going. She's definitely my first mentor in my life. She taught me that hard work, um, and persistence, and urgency and desperation are all things that can be channeled and used in a positive way. And she showed me how to do that by example. And I couldn't be more proud today than I am. I remember one summer, she took us down to a local marina. Not that we were members of any country club or anything like that. It was a pretty basic marina. But it was down the street, and some of the people that she worked with were boating people. And she took us down there on one Saturday afternoon to hang out. And there was a playground down there, and she was going to socialize with some of her friends. She had an afternoon off, after a long while. And I remember there was a mid-40s cabin cruiser. It's like teak and mahogany, 48-footer, beautiful boat, just beautiful. Belonged to some people my mom knew, and they were working on the engine, or some mechanics were, and they didn't have enough bumpers on the dock, and some guys were pushing the boat away from the dock, and they asked, "You want to help?" I said, "Sure." So I sat on the edge of the dock and was pushing on the edge of the boat, keeping it away from the dock. And as kids will be, I wanted to keep outdoing myself. I kept pushing the boat out farther and farther, and it took quite a bit. I mean, you put a little bit of pressure, it would float away from the dock slowly, and then it would slowly float back in, and you put some pressure on, and it would start floating out. Well, of course, I pushed a little close to the edge of the dock, and boom, in the water I went. I could not swim. And I remember, like it was yesterday, staring up through the water, and I could see a sliver of light at the bottom of the boat. And at the time, I didn't know. All I wanted to do was breathe. All I wanted to do was get out of the water. I wanted one more breath, one more day with my mom and my sister. I just wanted one more. That's all I wanted. And I'd look up, and all I could see was that sliver of light between the dock and the boat. The dock was casting shadow. The boat's right there, and I see this little sliver of light. And every time I would shoot for it and swim, boom, I'd hit my head on the bottom of the boat. I was losing hope. All I wanted to do was breathe. One last breath. See my mom again. See my sister. And then a guy by the name of Mick jumped in the water, knew my mom, he was out there, and jumped in the water and grabbed me and pulled me out. I can still remember that feeling today. That second chance feeling, gives you that sense of urgency to make the day count, to make every hug count, to make sure you tell your mom, you love her before she goes to bed at night, that kind of desperation, that kind of urgency, that kind of things have to get done mentality. Lately what I've been doing is I've been running, to reward myself. I go for a run, and I'll push myself to where I'm gasping for air, to where I'm fighting for that last breath, where I want that. That's all I want is I just want to get enough breath in me to get back to a regular rhythm, And I push myself to that limit, to that failure limit, and it reignites that feeling of urgency. It makes me feel, I feel so alive when I'm pushing that hard. And that's why I circuit train. I fell in love with the Insanity program when I get to a point where you're on your hands and knees and gasping for air. All you want is that air to stick. It's good. It's good stuff. There's nothing wrong with living with a sense of urgency. In fact, I highly recommend it. I've been put on this earth to spread a message. I was told that at a very young age, and I've followed this journey my entire life, and I've been told my entire life that someday I would make an impact, that someday, through sharing my story, I would make an impact on the world. The day I was diagnosed, a warm feeling came over my body. I wrote about it this morning. A warm feeling came over my body of peace. And I heard the words, "Because you are strong, it is time." So you will hear me in the future talking about how to figure out what your will, what God's will for your life is, what your sweet spot is, how to figure out your why, and then how to make it urgent, how to make it count, how to make it about something or somebody. What is your why? What's your why? Do you have a why? I mean, do you even have a why? Comment below. Comment below this video. I want to know. Do you have a why? Do you know what your why is? If you don't, do you want help figuring it out? And once we figure out why we're here, why we're pushing, why we are pushing to get done what we get done, why we are struggling to live a better life, why we deserve to live a quality life, and then how to make it urgent. You have to have a sense of urgency. If you make it about you, you're going to give up on yourself. I mean, think about it. If you only have to answer to you, you're going to give up on yourself. But if you're doing it for something or somebody else, a cause, if you have a why, a burning why, you'll push harder. I know I do. But that's for future videos. I am Brian Davis Alive, GratitudeRep.com. I thank you for being here. I look forward to talking to you again in the future. Have an awesome day.